our smartphones are eventually going to go away. And I'm going to give you some really strong piece of evidence for what's happening here. Every major general purpose technology has changed the nature of communication and made a new communication device possible. From electricity and the rise of the telephone to the internet and the rise of the smartphone, right? The smartphone is an internet-first device centered around internet-based activity. We're at the dawn of the next general purpose technology. There will be a new communication device that comes with it. And we can already start to map the signals of what it would look like. When you think about the nature of AI, first and foremost, it's conversational. The device would have a conversational interface baked into it. Second, AI systems are being designed to be agentic, right? To take action on your behalf. That means we wouldn't need to do as much of the doing, right? The activities that take up so much of our time right now, whether that's browsing emails, shopping online. The goal is that AI systems would eventually take that over. I'm actually looking forward to not having to stare at my smartphone all day. What can we see from what the smartphone providers themselves and the companies trying to disrupt them are trying to bring to life, right? We see attempts at glasses, an AI system that's following you through life, sees what you see, it's conversation. We're seeing AirPods that are gonna have cameras in them. We know OpenAI is coming out with some form of device. No one can say for sure what's gonna win. Maybe none of those devices or companies, but the smartphone will be a chapter of history. Here's why this is important to pay attention to. We can already see years in advance of whatever device ends up making it, the challenges these types of devices could pose for privacy, for surveillance, for the amount of data that could be captured. Imagine policymakers started to get ahead of that years in advance, right? Started to play around with what that design space might look like. But it doesn't always feel like the future is this surprise and this mad scramble to suddenly keep everybody safe. It's so much easier to see the future as a continuation of the present. It's why the iPhone was supposed to fail. It's why the telephone was supposed to fail. More challenging work is to see what the signals of change are telling us and to step into that design space. What do we want from this future?
The simplest definition of addiction is the continued compulsive use of a substance or a behavior despite harm to self and or others. So what we see are kids who are on video games upwards of 7, 10, 15 hours a day. They are not sleeping at night. They are emotionally dysregulated, anxious, depressed. They say that being online is the only thing that alleviates their depression and anxiety, but in truth, what's happening is through this process of neuroadaptation, it is their engagement with the digital media itself that is causing their depression and anxiety and or exacerbating a pre-existing psychiatric condition. The other more subtle harms that we see in these kids are the development of a certain degree of antisocial personality or psychopathy. They're no longer engaging in family chores, in family meals, no longer engaging with their parents. They're rude, they're lying. Now, some of these are things that will happen anyway in adolescence as kids try to individuate, depending upon the family, whatever, there's a lot going on there. But kids who spend a lot of time online, become addicted to being online, do manifest what looks like signs and symptoms of antisocial personality disorder, which, by the way, resolve when those kids get off of the digital platforms and get into recovery. The other thing that I would say...
I guess I'm smiling here. I mean, because what you are into recovery, this is what we usually associate with heroin and other drugs like that, correct?
Absolutely. We really need to reframe the digital medium, especially certain platforms, as digital drugs, akin to nicotine, alcohol, heroin, what have you. Again, they activate, these digital media activate the same reward pathway as drugs and alcohol. And what we see phenomenologically in clinic is that kids and adults can get addicted to digital platforms the same way that they can get addicted to drugs and alcohol.
If you don't learn a language, if you are so lazy that you don't learn how to write or how to organize your ideas, that brain starts to atrophy. And the depth that the human brain has, the complexity, starts shrinking. It becomes more and more superficial. And so what you're finding are people who can't think on a deep level, whose thoughts are always on the surface. They can't reason their way through any kind of problem. And so 50, 100 years from now, well, we're going to depend on experts and people who know their field, who know how to build bridges, who know how to build buildings, who know how to design things, who know how to make things, who know how to create political movements. When all that falls apart and people are only using these tools to help them instead of thinking on their own, we're going to be in an incredible mess. Since the beginning of time, we humans have used tools. We've used hammers, we've used wheels, etc. And it becomes an extension of who we are. It increases our power. power. A telescope allows us to see the universe, not with our own eyes, but through this piece of brilliant technology. But the point about a tool is, are you using it or is it using you? Are you the one in control of it? Are you able to take AI, giving you an idea for something and then making it your own? Or is it using you? Is it really warping the power of your own brain?
Just have to come on here and say this real quick about the data centers. If you think that the government and big tech are building these billion-dollar facilities in the middle of nowhere to store your family photos or help you in any capacity, you're retarded. Okay? You're retarded. They're calling them data centers because calling them mass surveillance centers would probably send people into a spiral. They're literally building the infrastructure for a surveillance state, and they're doing it right in front of your face. It's going to be fully capable of monitoring your speech, your behavior, your purchases. It's going to essentially harvest your biometrics and create an entire digital profile for you. People are trying to say that something like this would never happen. There's a 92% chance on poly market that something like this is prohibited. Utah just got approved for a massive data center blueprint. This data center in Utah is going to be 63 square miles. Do you guys know how massive that is? I'm talking almost 3 times the size of Manhattan and 200 times the size of the NSA's data center that already exists in Utah. Why does Utah need a 63 square mile data center? And by the way, it's going to be using up double the electricity that Utah uses currently. And honestly, why does the country need anything like that for that matter? So I'm asking you to just ask yourself if this is really for the betterment of society and storing family photos and for you, or is it for mass surveillance?
Has technology made you smarter or made you dumber? Listen to this.
Here's a random thought. As our devices have gotten smarter, we've gotten dumber, more arrogant, more reactive, more resentful by anyone that doesn't see the world the way that we do. We confuse access to information with actual understanding. But knowledge without perspective, that's not wisdom, that's ego. We started valuing the volume of what we know over the depth of what we understand. We stopped learning, stopped questioning. Instead, we just collect data points in order to prove our side right. Information is not a tool anymore, it's a weapon. The more disconnected we become from our discernment, the more reckless we are in how we wield it. Because without wisdom, knowledge is just noise. The smarter our machines become, the more dangerous our ignorance gets. So here's a thought. Put down your phone. Open a book. Learn something the slow, hard, valuable way. And go out and practice it in the real world. Sit with it. Struggle with it. Let it humble you. Until you've lived the knowledge you claim to carry, you're not wielding it. You're just swinging it blindly.
It does make you think that if technology was taken away from us, how would some of us function? Learning how to survive from the earth and what God has provided you can be a truly amazing thing. For me, I wish I would have knew a lot of these things when I was a child. But nevertheless, I'm thankful that I know a lot now and that I can utilize it and teach my children. See, the smartest phone in the world can't help the individual that just refuses to think for themselves. Technology must extend your mind, not replace it.